You're being robbed, and you don't even know it. If you're still living in California, New York, or anywhere with palm trees and $6 gas, you're getting financially mugged every single month. Let's be clear, the average rent in California just passed $2,050. The median home price? $654,000. You'd need to earn $181,000 a year just to afford a starter home, and that's before taxes, insurance, and utilities that look like car payments. Meanwhile, in half the country, $600 a month still buys you a house. Not a room, a house. With land, with a garage, and with dignity. This isn't opinion, it's raw math from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, Zillow, HUD, and census data from 2024. The average cost of living index in California is 142.2. But in states like Mississippi or West Virginia, it's under 90. That means you're paying 60% more for the same eggs, electricity, and toilet paper, while getting less space, less freedom, and more rules. You're not just broke, you're location broke. And tonight, I'm going to show you 10 states where $1,000 buys what costs $1 million in California. I'm talking full-sized homes, tax relief, and utility bills that don't make you sweat more than the heat. If you're serious about retirement, escape, or just breathing room, you need to hear this. Because every month you stay in a high-cost zip code is a month you're choosing to drown. Let's go. Number 10, Mississippi, where your dollar doesn't stretch. It sprints. Now listen closely, because if you've been burning cash in Santa Monica or scraping by in Brooklyn, Mississippi is going to feel like you've stumbled into a financial time warp. This is the state where $1,000 a month doesn't just get you housing, it builds generational wealth. Zillow's 2024 numbers pin the median home price in Mississippi at a jaw-dropping $164,000. That's nearly 75% cheaper than California's $654,000 median. And here's the kicker. Rural counties like Tippah, Marion, or Jefferson Davis aren't just affordable, they're absurd. A $600 monthly mortgage here could land you a 2,300 square foot ranch, wraparound porch, 2-car garage, and 3 acres of land. That's not fantasy. That's for sale. And taxes? Mississippi's median effective property tax rate is just 0.65%, one of the lowest in the country. That means you'll pay about $1,066 a year in property taxes, which in California would barely cover 2 weeks of gas. Utility costs hover around 12.95 cents per kilowatt, and natural gas is cheap enough to keep your water hot and your house toasty without a second thought. Groceries? As of 2024, lawmakers have slashed the state grocery tax from 7% to 3.5%, and there's movement to eliminate it entirely by 2026. Healthcare access is improving thanks to regional investment in clinics and telemedicine in smaller towns. And here's what most folks miss. Mississippi's cost of living index is 83.1, meaning you only need $831 here to buy what costs $1,000 in the average state. California's index is 142.2. Want to live like a celebrity on a truck driver's salary? Mississippi is the economic loophole nobody's telling you about. While the elites pay $6,000 a month to live on top of each other in a Los Angeles high-rise, you're watching fireflies dance on your front lawn with a paid-off house, a stocked pantry, and enough left over to invest, travel, or heck, even pay your neighbor's mortgage. This isn't just affordable. It's financial vengeance with a Southern accent. Number 9, Indiana, where Midwestern modesty turns into millionaire math. You want real estate that doesn't mug your wallet every month? You want a tax code that doesn't treat you like an ATM? Welcome to Indiana. While your friends in the Bay Area are dodging potholes on a $3,200 rent budget, you're pulling into your driveway in a paid-off 4-bedroom home in Vigo County. Zillow's 2024 housing data sets Indiana's median home value at $215,000, and in counties like Wayne, Posey, or Randolph, you can regularly find listings under $160,000. Do the math. At 6.8% mortgage interest with 20% down, $600 a month covers your mortgage, taxes, and probably even a streaming subscription or two. Here's what makes Indiana viciously efficient. Property taxes average 0.87%, which on a $160,000 home comes out to less than $1,400 a year. Groceries? Not taxed at all. Zero. Nada. You walk into the store, buy $150 worth of food, and guess what you pay? $150. Period. Compare that to California's 7.25% base sales tax, with local add-ons reaching over 10% in places like Long Beach. Electricity averages 13.5 cents per kilowatt, and winter heating doesn't cost a limb. Healthcare? Indiana's IU health system ranks as one of the top non-profit hospital networks in the country. Even smaller towns have clinics that rival big city standards. And safety? Cities like Bloomington, Lafayette, and Noblesville consistently rank among the safest mid-sized cities in the Midwest. But here's the dagger. Cost of living index? 91.4. Meaning every dollar you spend here has 10% more buying power than the national average, and almost double that of New York or California. Hollywood spends millions building fake small towns for movies. In Indiana, you get the real deal, with real peace and real ownership, for what rich folks drop on valet tips. Number 8. Alabama, the Deep South's best-kept secret for financial rebirth. You want to talk about economic rebellion? Then pull up a chair, because Alabama isn't just about sweet tea and SEC football, it's about beating inflation at its own game. Zillow clocks Alabama's median home price at $197,000 in 2024. But if you drift 30 miles outside Huntsville or Birmingham, $600 a month gets you more than just shelter. We're talking about multi-acre homesteads with enough land to grow your own food, run a business, or raise a family of 5 with breathing room. Property taxes? Laughable. Alabama posts one of the lowest effective property tax rates in America at 0.41%. That means if you buy a $180,000 home, you're paying less than $750 a year in taxes, while someone in California with a similar home pays up to $2,000 more annually. And get this. Alabama eliminated its 4% state grocery tax in 2024, joining states like Oklahoma and Kansas in making food affordable again. Utilities are a mixed bag. Electricity averages around 14.2 cents per kilowatt, but the state's lower humidity in northern regions cuts air conditioning costs drastically in spring and fall. But what about healthcare and safety? UAB Hospital in Birmingham is ranked nationally in multiple specialties, and the state is expanding Medicaid access through federal waivers. And here's a little-known fact. Alabama ranks number 1 in the nation for retiree satisfaction in rural areas, according to a 2023 National Life Quality Index. People are happier here, less stress, more land, less debt. Don't let coastal elites tell you Alabama's backward. They just don't understand that here, $1,000 buys what costs $1 million in Venice Beach. In Alabama, your money doesn't crawl, it conquers. While celebrities spend fortunes trying to simplify their lives, you've already got it, with money left over for fishing gear, a new truck, or a weekend getaway that doesn't need a passport. Welcome to wealth disguised in a southern drawl. Number 7. Kentucky. Bourbon, bluegrass, and budget nirvana. Let's get real. Most folks think of Kentucky and picture horse racing and bourbon. But what they should be picturing is the economic escape hatch they've been praying for. In 2024, Zillow reports Kentucky's median home price at $202,000, but in counties like Rowan, Laurel, or Grayson, you'll see beautiful 3-bed, 2-bath homes for $145,000, with full basements, wood-burning stoves, and backyards where the deer literally eat from your apple tree. Do the math. A $145,000 home with 20% down and current mortgage rates puts your payment around $585 a month, meaning you've got room in your budget for insurance, groceries, and even a generator or backup system. Property tax rate? 0.83%. Sales tax on groceries? 0. And the rest? Statewide sales tax sits at a flat 6%, far below the coastal killers bleeding your wallet dry. Utilities? Thanks to abundant local energy sources, Kentucky's rates hover at 10.7 cents per kilowatt-hours, among the lowest in the country. That means your air conditioning in July costs less than parking in Los Angeles. And here's the kicker. The state is pushing rural broadband so aggressively, even remote towns are clocking internet speeds fast enough to run an online business, stream 4K, and Zoom your grandkids without buffering. Healthcare? Louisville is home to Baptist Health and Norton, two top-ranked systems, and smaller cities like Bowling Green and Owensboro aren't slouching either. Safety? Avoid downtown Lexington. After dark, but the rest of the state? You're looking at crime rates that are 30% lower than the national average. And here's the soul-satisfying part. While Silicon Valley tries to sell you 400 square feet for $900,000, Kentucky gives you peace, space, and financial breathing room for less than a California Uber bill. Want chickens in the yard? Done. Want a tool shed, a smoker, and a patch of tomatoes the size of your car? Easy. In Kentucky, $600 doesn't just buy shelter, it buys freedom. With a glass of bourbon in one hand and your mortgage balance at zero. Number 6. Michigan, where $600 a month buys the life your landlord told you was impossible. Let's clear something up right now. Michigan isn't just Detroit and abandoned auto factories. That's what people who've never been want you to think. The real Michigan? It's 3,188 miles of freshwater shoreline, its small towns with big personality, and its homes priced like it's still 1993. Zillow's 2024 data pins Michigan's median home value at $228,000, already a far cry from California's $654,000 median. But here's where things go nuclear. In counties like Alger, Roscommon, or Shiawassee, homes with 1,800-plus square feet, finished basements, detached garages, and even lake views regularly list for $130,000, $165,000. Run the numbers. With 20% down, you're looking at a monthly mortgage in the $580, $640 range. Property taxes? Michigan averages 1.54%, which sounds high until you remember that it's applied to a house worth a fraction of what you'd pay in the Bay Area. Even with that, your yearly tax bill often lands under $2,000, which in California would barely cover 1 month's rent on a studio apartment in Echo Park. Sales tax is a flat 6%, groceries are untaxed, and heating assistance programs make those long winters survivable, and more importantly, affordable. Utilities are surprisingly kind. Electricity sits around 13.8 cents per kilowatt, and local municipalities offer off-peak winter rates that make running your furnace cheaper than a Netflix subscription. Now, let's talk quality of life. Ann Arbor's healthcare system ranks top-tier nationally. Grand Rapids is a hub of cultural life and tech jobs, and even small towns like Petoskey or Traverse City offer internet speeds fast enough for remote work and crime rates that make you feel like you stepped into a Norman Rockwell painting. In Michigan, you don't just buy a house. You buy access to the Great Lakes, forest trails, real seasons, and neighbors who lend you snow shovels without asking for rent. Meanwhile, Los Angeles folks are paying $2,900 a month for a view of someone else's window. In Michigan, $600 buys you freedom, fish, and firewood, all without begging your landlord for a working dishwasher. Number 5. South Dakota, where financial solvency wears cowboy boots and smiles. Now don't let the name fool you. South Dakota isn't just cornfields and prairie dogs. It's actually one of America's most underestimated financial fortresses. And if you've got $600 to spend on housing every month, it might just be your ticket to peace, power, and ownership without compromise. Zillow's 2024 data reports South Dakota's median home value at $248,000. But the real action? It's in counties like Butte, Bon Homme, and Kingsbury, where homes clock in at $150,000 to $175,000. That's 3 beds, 2 baths, often over 2,000 square feet, with land so big your dog could get lost for hours. Let's do the math. With a standard 20% down and current interest rates, you're sliding into a $585 mortgage, and maybe still have enough left over for high-speed internet and a deep freeze full of local bison meat. Property taxes hover around 1.22%, which translates to a modest $1,830 annually on a $150,000 home. That's per year. In San Jose, you'll burn that much on taxes before your kid's next birthday. Sales tax? 4.5% statewide, groceries included, but the kicker is, there's no state income tax. That's right. Zip, zilch, nothing. Your retirement, your Social Security, your side hustle income, all of it lands in your account untouched. Utilities are modest. Electricity around 13.7 cents per kWh. Heating costs subsidized in cold months, and because the climate is dry, you're not cranking the AC like in the South. Crime? Rapid City and Sioux Falls have their edges, but small towns are safe enough to leave your keys in your truck. And here's the real game changer. South Dakota is debt-resistant. With low housing costs and no income tax, most residents hit retirement with zero mortgage, zero credit card debt, and full ownership of their land. Hollywood buys 80 acres in Montana and calls it going off-grid. In South Dakota, $600 buys you that same acreage, plus plumbing, plus Wi-Fi, and minus the cameras. It's not rustic poverty. It's calculated sovereignty with a pickup truck and no HOA board breathing down your neck. Number 4. Tennessee, where financial sanity meets Southern hospitality. Now, if you've been dreaming about owning a home where your money actually matters, but you still want a bit of soul in your community, Tennessee's your golden ticket. This isn't just about affordability. It's about living well while living cheap, and Tennessee walks that line like a country singer on a tightrope. Zillow pegs the 2024 median home value here at $274,000, but just like the others, the secret isn't Nashville or Knoxville. It's what's around them. Head east toward Greenville, north toward Portland, or southeast into Bradley County and you'll find 3-bedroom homes for $160,000 to $180,000, often newer builds with garages, fenced yards, and full kitchens that would make HGTV hosts jealous. With that price tag and a 20% down payment, you're looking at a $600 mortgage with room to spare. Property taxes? The statewide average is just 0.71%, so on a $160,000 house, you're paying about $136 a year. That's not a typo. That's what Californians pay for a weekend of parking violations and overpriced sushi. And get this, there's no state income tax. Tennessee is one of just a few states where your income, pensions, or 1099 gigs remain completely unmolested by the state. Utilities are manageable, 12.6 cents per kWh, and moderate weather in much of the state means spring and fall bills are practically non-existent. Crime? Memphis makes headlines, but towns like Cookeville, Maryville, and Johnson City boast crime rates 30% below the national average. Healthcare? Vanderbilt in Nashville and UT Medical in Knoxville anchor a healthcare network that's shockingly strong for a low-tax state. But here's what makes Tennessee truly lethal to the California scam: culture. You're not just saving money. You're gaining access to music scenes, farmers markets, Appalachian trails, lakes, and neighbors who actually say good morning. While people in Los Angeles throw $3,800 a month into shoebox apartments with broken elevators, Tennessee gives you a mortgage, a grill, a backyard, and your dignity back. All for $600. Number 3, North Dakota, where $600 a month gets you a home, land, and a quiet revolution. Let's get one thing straight. North Dakota doesn't want the spotlight. While the coasts scream about housing bubbles, rent crises, and inflation, this unassuming prairie powerhouse just quietly lets its residents live like kings on a gas station manager's salary. Zillow's 2024 data sets the median home price here at $249,000, but that number is misleading. Head to counties like McLean, Burke, or Walsh, and you'll see updated 3-bed homes with land for under $170,000, many with detached shops, basements, and yards big enough for a sled dog team. Do the mortgage math and $600 covers your principal, interest, and probably a new set of snow tires. Property taxes? North Dakota averages just 0.98%, so a $170,000 home costs less than $1,700 a year in taxes. A pittance compared to the $8,000 levied on similar homes in parts of Southern California. And you better believe they're not taxing your groceries. Zero. Zilch. Nada. That's one of the reasons this state ranks among the top 5 in overall consumer affordability year after year. Utilities are rock solid. The state's abundant energy production keeps rates at 11.3 cents per kilowatt-hour, one of the lowest in the U.S., and winters, while cold, are mitigated by smart grid subsidies and programs like the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP. Healthcare access is excellent for a rural state, with regional clinics and state-backed hospital networks blanketing the plains. And violent crime? In places like Jamestown, Beulah, and Valley City, rates fall below 200 per 100,000, safer than most suburbs in Phoenix or San Diego. Here's the twist. While Silicon Valley billionaires build doomsday bunkers in New Zealand, everyday people in North Dakota are quietly doing the same thing. For $600 a month on American soil, with legal gun ownership, no traffic, and a neighbor who actually knows your name. It's not rural poverty, it's rural power. And the best part? Your house is paid off before your Hollywood cousin finishes paying off their Tesla. Number 2, Louisiana, where financial liberation comes with gumbo and a porch swing. Let's not sugarcoat it. Louisiana is misunderstood. They don't tell you about the parishes where the cost of living is so low, you feel like you're committing legal theft just by paying your mortgage. Zillow's 2024 housing figures pin the statewide median at $214,000, but travel outside New Orleans or Baton Rouge, and you'll find homes for $130,000 to $160,000 in places like Ouachita, Vernon, or Tangipahoa parishes. Full-size brick homes, often with decks, fenced yards, and live oaks shading your driveway. Mortgage on that with 20% down? Try $580 a month. That's less than half of California's average rent increase from 2022 to 2024. Property taxes? Practically a joke. Louisiana has the third lowest effective property tax rate in America at just 0.55%. That means you're paying less than $900 a year on your home, and there are even homestead exemptions that slash that bill to under $300 if you're a retiree. Grocery taxes? Officially 4.45%, but many parishes offer rebates or exemptions, and sales tax holidays are still alive and well here. Electricity averages 12.9 cents per kilowatt-hour, but natural gas is dirt cheap, and so is water. And here's something few outsiders realize. Louisiana has more access to fresh water than any other state in the lower 48. Translation: no shortages, no surcharges, no state-mandated drought surcharges like in California. Healthcare is improving fast. The state expanded Medicaid in 2020, and cities like Lafayette and Lake Charles now house some of the most advanced community hospitals in the South. Crime is highly localized. Avoid certain zip codes in Shreveport or New Orleans, but in smaller towns like Ruston or Minden, you're safer than many parts of Denver. But what truly sets Louisiana apart? Culture. This is a place where life still moves at a human pace, where neighbors bring you seafood instead of complaints, and where $600 a month buys you not just a roof, but a lifestyle. You're not buying survival, you're buying soul. And that's something Silicon Valley money can't touch. Number 1. Wyoming, the undisputed king of American affordability and financial freedom. Here we are, the champion. The place where $600 doesn't just buy you housing, it buys you complete economic liberation. Wyoming, the state billionaires are moving to, the state celebrities are quietly buying land in, the state that refuses to play by the rules of coastal inflation. Zillow's 2024 home data reports the median price at $290,000, but that includes luxury ranches near Jackson Hole. Drive an hour in any direction and that number plummets. In counties like Niobrara, Weston, or Bighorn, $160,000 homes with 3 beds, 2 baths, and 2 acres of land are normal. Your $600 mortgage? Paid in full, with money left for groceries, propane, and maybe even a new ATV. Property taxes? An insane 0.61% effective rate, meaning your yearly property tax bill is often less than what Californians pay in DMV registration fees. And that's not even the best part. There is no state income tax in Wyoming. Not on wages, not on retirement, not on capital gains. Your Social Security check, your dividends, your side hustle. It all lands in your pocket, untouched. Sales tax? Just 4% statewide, groceries exempt. Fuel costs? Lower than average thanks to refineries and local production. Utilities? Average 12.5 cents per kilowatts, but the state's dry climate means cooling costs are negligible, and heating is often done with cheap propane. And crime? Outside of a few frontier bars with too much whiskey on Friday nights, Wyoming is one of the safest states in the country. Healthcare? Sparse, but strong. The state has invested heavily in regional medical centers, especially for rural access. And internet, fiber optic expansion funded by federal and state dollars has made even tiny ranch towns Zoom-friendly. This isn't a dream. This is math. This is reality. And this is why Wyoming is the final boss of affordability. You're not renting a condo with paper walls. You're owning land, breathing clean air, sipping coffee on your porch, while Hollywood burns through $20,000 a month rentals. In Wyoming, $600 is more than a payment. It's a revolution. There it is. 10 states, $600, millionaire lifestyles without millionaire debt. This isn't a fantasy. This is what happens when you pick zip codes over zip ties. California wants to keep you broke. These states want to set you free.